Hi everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Maurice Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining me again, Maurice.
Jess, it's always a pleasure to see you. I love this. Hope all is well with you.
Yeah, very well. It's great to have you back in the hot seat. So, first off, when it comes to tech innovation, there's a lot out there. As a CIO, what would you say are some of the trends that are worth investing in, and which would you describe as more of a fad?
Well, it's a combination, and it's a great question. Since I've walked into this new role, dealing with innovation and customer experience, my visionary perspective is a little bit changed, to the point where we're looking at how can we create more efficiencies, create a culture of innovation, and looking at better dynamics. So for us, when we talk about tech and innovation, we're looking at robotic solutions, we're looking at a lot of autonomous vehicles, all these things that can improve the enterprise. But on top of that, everyone's talking about AI and this panacea with AI. But how can you actually leverage that within our ecosystem to create better efficiencies is what we're looking at right now. And it's a myriad of things, by the way, because I also want people to realize innovation is not just tech, right? It's that process improvement. It's creating that new dynamic and that new change. So if I can give you one thing, and you'll hear it first, is that we're actually looking at creating a sense of smell for Miami, right? So when you go into a Marriott and some of the hotel chains, you walk in like, this is where I'm at. So imagine creating a nice scent. So we've looked at several of the designers and looking at certain products and actually creating that dynamic with that. And on top of that, we're actually looking at actually creating what's called a signature drink, a Miami drink. And innovative. When I come to Miami, I have to have this. What would that be? It could be the Jess Martini, we'll never know. But the thing is, when you get off an airplane, why do we rush to get to bag claim to wait for your bag? Why not continue to have the experience? So we're actually coming up with creative ideas just to go ahead and add a new dynamic. So we're looking at tech as well as non-tech to enhance the user experience, not just the customer experience.
That's so fascinating, and I guess the smell in the drink that helps cultivate a real sense of place and a sense of arrival rather than just sort of passing through. Right. And then when it comes to AI, everyone's talking about it, and that's understandable. But are there some areas of it where you think, which areas do you think have more realistic promise, and which do you think are a bit more pie in the sky?
Well, it's kind of I can't even call it, depends on how you look at the environment and what you're trying to address. I like leveraging AI for a great opportunity within the commercial revenue opportunity space, because we've done several trials and it came out, it proved positive that there's certain things that we thought we knew that we did not know. And by leveraging that and taking advantage of that opportunity, it allows us to think of how we can increase our revenue generation opportunity, but at the same token also increase that customer experience and make that a more better experience, because we can get to cater more to your expectations than we could before. In the maybe non-applicability space, it all depends on what you're looking at. Operationally, where can you truly leverage AI? And these are some of the things that you probably wouldn't see, where there are tangible benefits that you need to work towards aggregating data to be able to get you better predictability within your airport ecosystem and tying that to creating more operational efficiencies. So I can't say there's nothing that wouldn't have any level of applicability. We create an environment that we want to be able to evaluate and stress test certain products and certain levels of opportunities within that space and see what actually works. Because remember, my adage has always been, well, if you've seen one airport, you've only seen one airport. So what may not be applicable to me, I could share that experience with another airport and it may work for them. So a lot of things with video analytics, to be able to tie that to the better predictability and enhance operational flow is what we're also looking at as well. And we look forward to seeing what that result set looks like.
Okay, fantastic. And when we first started the conversation, you touched very quickly on robotics. So to come back to that, what are some of the ways you're deploying this to create an airport experience for the future?
Well, we've looked at a couple of things. I mean, plainly, the simplest one, we looked at that for cleaning robots, right? Leveraging that, let's say cleaning the space that we're in now, we can actually leverage 1, 2, or 3 to do this in a very relatively short period of time rather than taking hours to do. And then you can reapportion the human capital resources to work on more of the detail, because you want to go ahead and give it that optimal environment. Right, so find a way to go ahead and meld the two between robotics and the user base to go ahead and tie that together, because synergistically that has to happen. happen. You're not substituting one for the other. We've done some things with Honda Motor Corp as well, that we're doing some things with autonomous lawnmowers. We did it at some of our general aviation airports. The reception was great. The employees bought into it. So we had a great model, a great experience. We're able to showcase that really well. And other business entities within our Miami ecosystem have an interest, and we're meeting and having those discussions with them that they might be able to take leverage of this opportunity. So we use that environment, while it may not be 100% applicable for us, be able to showcase that to the local community, that they may have an opportunity, that may want to leverage that into their eco space as well. While also not maybe a robotic solution, but the autonomy is, we're working with several vendors to look at aircraft turnaround time on the airfield. While it's mostly camera and analytics, we look at it as being a solution, tying in technology to how well we can optimize aircraft movement, aircraft turn on the airfield for better optimization, enhance sustainability, manage revenue opportunities, and look at other operational efficiencies that can be gained, similar to what's happening in the European market. So we're bringing these efficiencies here to Miami, here to the US, and see what would work well that we can actually drop into our ecosystem today to derive additional tangible benefits.
Fantastic. So sort of spreading the, not just within the airport, but within the wider community as well, helping to drive innovation. And you also touched on autonomous vehicles. Tell me a little bit more about how these are being used.
Well, currently right now, we've not deployed any. We've looked at opportunities. Hong Kong is doing a great job with autonomous tugs on the airfield. Great friends of mine and what they've done. We've had several conversations with several entities that are offering autonomous vehicle solutions, and just being able to examine that. I think Waymo is one that's full self-driving as a ride-share service. We've had some conversations with them. How would that work within the airport ecosystem? Looking at all the incremental touch points. So I guess my adage has always been nothing is off the table. We want to be able to look at, evaluate, and see what we could actually ingest and see what works. So we're looking forward to seeing more and more within that space. I think Guideways was another one. And there's so many that are sitting out there, but one size doesn't always fit all. But if we could find the right solution that has the right business model, that has the right touch point or pain point that we're trying to cure, would be great to look at.
So like you said, there's a lot of technology out there, and a lot of it is very exciting, but what would you pick out as your top tech investment for 2025?
I think there's several, but my top that we're about to roll out pretty soon is going to be our omni-channel chatbot, and we're going to tie that with our hologram solution. So you can actually do a hologram, speak to the hologram, but actually get airport information that's tied to our chatbot. And the thing about it is you don't need an app for it. You can leverage WhatsApp, Messenger, any of those other tools without having to download another app and add something else to your mobile device. And I think that's going to be an additional game changer for us. And we're working on several others tied into the holograms. We're going to look at some things with parallel reality. And there's some other touch points that we're going to keep a little secret right now, but you can look forward to seeing those later on this year.
We'll have to wait and see for those.
There you go. If I tell you now, then I have to kill you, and then I won't see you anymore.
We don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah. There's a lot more to look forward to.
It's recorded now, so.
Definitely. But it's a great time and a great dynamic to be playing in this aviation space with some great startups that are sitting out there, some great partnerships that we've had the opportunity to leverage. So there's more to come, and we're open. So we're just trying to embrace all of that, creating a culture. And the biggest thing is we're actually working on creating a culture of innovation within our airport. And that's coming from our executives and our executive leadership that have bought into it and realizing this dynamic, this ability to have a change in culture is what's going to be the game changer for our airport. And it's going to be the game changer for industry.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Maurice. As always, it's been a pleasure to get your insights.
Always, my friend, always. I look forward to the next time.
Definitely.
Cheers.